Good morning. So I'm going to try to keep this to be a short practice. I thought we might talk a little bit. There's a passage in the Bible, I think it's in Matthew, and talks about when you pray, close your door. He talks about that when we make an offering, when we're helping the poor, and we do it out in public, and we're doing it for everybody to see so that we can get recognized. You've already received what you're supposed to have. When I come into my room here, this is my private practice. I'm usually in here alone. I don't share this. I certainly don't put it on camera. And I blend that in my mind, right? I don't really try to draw lines between the Gita or anything else. But in the Gita, in chapter 4, remember, Arjuna, I'm going to start practicing while we talk, and I'll talk with you. We're just going to move through a sun salutation, maybe with a simple pose or two in the beginning towards the end. And again, this is just going to be to open your body, slow practice to begin. So Arjuna, remember, is in this big, so bring your feet together on the center line. Let your toes touch together on this big inhale. I know you guys have done this many times. Sweep the arms out wide and behind you. Really extend out. Take the shoulders out of the sockets. Let the elbows lengthen. Pull the wrists and the fingers right out of their joints. Create as much space in your length as you can. And squeeze your legs. Pause here in Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands pose, and really do something with your fingers. Explode them or knife them or mudra them. Play with your wrists. Make some circles. Tie it in with your breath. Keep squeezing the legs. Lift the toes. Lay them down lightly. If you feel anything in your wrists you want to play with, stay there and either pull or stretch or squeeze or whatever it is that feels like the best opening for some part of the body. It might be in the back of the forearms. It might be across the chest. One more time, pull them up overhead, full extension, and we're going to forward fold. Go all the way down to the floor. We're just going to stay here for a minute. Grab your ankles or just forward hang. If you'd like to grab opposite elbows, do so, but keep trying to pull the hips up. Try to let the head fall down. So you're trying to get the full length out of the back line. And so Arjuna in the Gita, right, he's in this big conflict, right? He has his family on one side and his family on the other. Try to imagine yourself, right, where you have your family and your in-laws, except that it's your family who wants to take all your stuff and kill you. Think of your mother, your father, your brothers, your children, your husband, your whoever, right? Your close family wants to kill you. And imagine your in-laws are your supporters. And so Arjuna's in this place where he needs to make a choice, and he can't do it. He's stuck. When we inhale, we're going to come up to a flat back and do that same hold. So inhale, squeeze the legs, extend the spine, try to reach the tailbone straight back. So whatever feels like a flat back to you. Again, in my body shape, I know my back isn't flat, but my stomach is contracting. My legs are squeezing. Weight is in the balls of your feet, but you can still lift your toes. No mat gripping. Extend out through the crown of the head and find some real energy along the spine, through the bones. See how straight the hands might be if you really press into the fingertips into the shins. Work through 2 or 3 really long breaths here. And so again, Arjuna, much as we're talking about in that Bible quote by Matthew, his choice has nothing to do with outside appearances. He doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He's really and truly inside and trying to decide what the right thing to do is, right, for himself. And he's stuck. Forward fold. One more time, release. We're going to come up one more time, one more flat back cycle, and then we're going to chaturanga, or that high push-up beginning. So inhale, find it one more time. Full breath, full breath, full breath. Extend, squeeze, get into your biggest shape here. Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, hands to the mat. Walk, step, jump back. In this high plank, one more time, really move some energy through the arms and the fingertips. Do not just crush into the base of your wrists, right? In the base of the palm of your hand. Instead, press a little bit more firmly into the front edge. If you can pick up your hands, right, and get into the fingers and the front edge, that's one way to do it, but that's not going to be appropriate for a lot of bodies. See, if the thumb comes up, try to get into the thumb side. The thumb comes up, press into the thumb side. Pull the belly in, press out of the heels, squeeze the legs. So you really want the legs very, very active in this pose here. If you're going to put your knees down, put them down here. That's a smart way to go. Only if you have that chaturanga practice. Shift your weight forward over your hands. Bend both elbows. You come down. You may hover, you may plop. And so this really is this four-limb step. Chatur is the number 4. And find yourself forward. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. We're going to hold this as well. Press the hands into the mat. Pull them back. Open the shoulders. Open your chest wide so the collarbones get long from your neck out to your shoulder points. And really pull in the breath and press the feet, squeeze the legs. Find that balance between extending the neck, throat forward, pressing the feet, and activating the arms. Keep working the front of the body, the back of the body, the left and right sides, the top and the bottom. Find that balance. Find that natural place where everything is engaged just right. And so Krishna, right, Arjuna's charioteer, right, he's still unaware of the divine nature of Krishna. And Krishna says, you know, the things I do, they don't affect me, right? The actions that I do, they don't affect me. He's doing it from a selfless place. And so again, back to Matthew, right? He's doing it for no one else's appearance. He's doing it because it's the right thing. And also there's an idea in chapter 4 about yajna. And yajna means worship, but it also means offering. And so in the Hindu faith, what they do is offer. So a little more extension, a little more lift, squeeze the legs. We're going to pull it back into downward facing dog. So come out of it a little bit, curl your toes from your core, pressing your hands, but bring your hips up through your belly. So again, it comes up through the belly. And we stand downward facing dog again. Find the tweaks of trying to straighten the arms. If you're going to soften anything, soften the legs, the knees a little bit. Pull the tailbone back. Work on that big inhale, big exhale. Watch again. Where is the weight in your hands? Have you already let the belly blow out? If not, right, keep that engagement in the belly. Pelvic floor comes up a little bit. Maybe let the head go for 3. Work on the biggest inhale you got, and then don't cheat the exhale. Biggest exhale you got. We're going to go Ekapada just to come forward with a big step. So bring that right leg way up. Maybe straighten both legs. Pull everything back. One time I'm going to step the right foot forward. High lunge-ish. So we're going to start in this place, right? So that you can get that length and the width of wherever your feet want to go. If, again, you've been active, bike riding, walking, running, whatever, and you're fine. Maybe even inactive, right? You'll get some contraction in the groin and the hips from being inactive as well, just sitting. Let the length of this back leg get really long. Squeeze the back leg. And to continue opening these in a smart way, let's put that left knee on the ground, point the toes, push the right knee forward, but don't collapse the spine over the leg. Keep pulling the belly in, pressing that back leg, the foot, the knee of that left leg into the ground. Right knee presses forward. And so, again, I told you sometimes, right, it's hard for me. I don't really care to be on film sometimes, right? Because I close my door and I come in here and this is an offering, that yajna. I think of my practice as a body prayer, right? I'm not doing it for anyone. I'm exploring what's on the inside. I'm staying with my inner self. Part of Krishna's lesson to Arjuna, again, is he says, you know, that I'm unattached. But what he really means is your divine nature is unattached. He's still talking cryptically or in a way that Arjuna doesn't understand, that he has this divine nature. We're going to step it back and just vinyasa to the other side. So we're just going to place our hands back on the earth. High plank. Press it out, squeeze it. So always don't just pass through it. Find it. Move into it in a way that you feel it, you know it, you embody it, and then smartly, intelligently transition to the next pose, and again to the next pose. Find the ones that you need to hold, and again, I would strongly suggest back bends we all need to hold. Work on this by, again, actively pressing into the feet. I would suggest the big toe side because you can squeeze the buttocks a little more firmly, which will take the line right up your spine into the back of your skull, and then lift. Right? So not pressing into the hands to get height, but squeezing the legs, squeezing the buttocks, squeezing the muscles in the back. My height doesn't change if I move my hands, right? Just press into the hands to bring the shoulders down the back of your back. And then one more time, softening, curl the toes, pull it up to downward facing dog. So I'm going to try to press my heels into the ground a little bit more. I'm spending a lot of time lately trying to open up the back of my knees. Lots of calf holds, lots of dandasana, lots of straight-legged runner's stretch. Feet together, center line. Again, that ekapada on the other side. Play with straight legs. Play with straight arms, whatever it feels like. It may not look like it, but play with it in your body. And then one time, big step forward. I can feel my right leg wants to slide back. Once I'm here and I'm pressing into the feet, that's when I feel my body want to open. When I say my body, the inner thighs, the groin. And then when I feel like that's about it for now, I'm just going to put that right knee on the ground, point the toes, press the left knee forward of my left foot. Well, now this becomes my offering. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to make anything happen. Pratyahara, close the eyes. Close the mouth. Move the prana to keep separating the knees, to keep lengthening from the left sits bone right out through the knee, maybe back down into the left foot. Maybe from the right shoulder, down the back, out the right knee, out the right foot. Your experience, again, your pranic choices will be governed by your conscious choice, your awareness, your attention, and of course, whatever restrictions your body may have. Your job is not to decide it's a restriction, but just to move towards what your body allows. And then stop the work. Moving energy isn't always work. If you still feel like the pose offers you something, stay. And again, if you're practicing at home in your own space, you can go for duration. I'm going to bring my hands back to the inside, plant them on the ground, step that back foot back. Again, high plank, inhale, exhale through Chaturanga Dandasana, inhale, find a back bend, maybe something a little bit more than you did before, but stay with it whatever you choose, then pull it back into downward facing dog. I'm going to play with one final pose while we're still working with the back of the legs. The adductors and the hamstrings are strongly related, so I'm going to step my right foot forward. You do what you need to. I just want to face the camera. Come into Prasarita. So if you want the big stand-up extension, right, you come up here and do this big stand-up extension. I'm just going to stay low and extend the spine from here. And very often right here, very much like we just did, where my legs begin isn't where they end up. So once you're here, what you want to do is staple the bottoms of your feet into the ground and then start bringing the ankles towards the center, the shins, the knees, the thighs towards the inner line. You activate the legs, you don't hang around in them. Pull in the belly, really push and point the tailbone backwards. Work for that flat spine. Now the interesting thing here to find that opening, like everything else we talk about, right? Strengthening and lengthening and strengthening and lengthening. So as we're squeezing here, we're strengthening, right? Now notice, right, are you in the balls of your feet? Are you in the big toe? Are you missing the pinky? So play with getting the whole foot flat. Play with really moving energy into the whole bottom of both feet. And when you squeeze that right up in behind the tailbone, right, maybe in front of the tailbone, you might find that the heels go out a little bit more, right? Don't be so caught up in this idea that you need to come forward. You can, it helps. But this is a strengthening thing here. It keeps the lower back really strong, right? Squeeze so that the kneecaps lift if possible. And you decide how long to stay. Again, I'm going to try to hold this video to around 15 minutes. So all we're going to do here is just pull it in, come back into a kneeling space. Again, if you want to just move into a meditative practice here, find your comfortable seat. Whatever showed up, let go of any judgment. And instead, again, make that your offering, right? For no one else, right? Whatever divine thing, if you have a faith, offer it up. If not, let go of any expectations. Let go of the outcome. Let that simply be your practice. So your word, your Sanskrit word today is yajna, Y-A-J-N-A, yajna. It's offering, right? It could be wisdom, it could be offering. And again, namaste.